Hello students. So students, now welcome to this particular session, the first particular now topic. As I have already told you in the practice batch, that I'm going to start with the non-resident taxation transfer pricing. Those would be the first area of coverage. After that, we will look into the other areas like the trust taxation, TDS, TCS, on those particular contexts, alternate tax regime, PGBP. Those would be the second particular category. And finally, then we will move on to the assessment procedures and the other particular areas which are being there. So that is how we will try to deal with it so as to ensure that the things get covered comprehensively, students, in this regard. So from this being the practice batch, obviously, as I told you, I do expect that you people are aware of the basics, everything. The things that you already may be aware of, the fact that these particular topics that we are dealing are essentially for the purpose of doing the practice on it, the practical questions. But before doing that, students, we will also need to address the theoretical part. A quick revision of theoretical part will always be very helpful for all of us to really take that thing into account. But friends, here when we do revision, it is not a normal revision that we will do. Like for example, like here, like we are not going to read the provision. Here we are going to read the provision the way it actually appears in the examination. You will find while we discuss the topic further, whenever we look into a particular theory, so a theory, how it could be targeted in the examination is what primarily would be our approach. Like for example, when we talk, right, let's start with this one straight away. Friends, as you are aware, in this context, the residential status is a first step for introducing ourselves into the world of non-resident taxation. That is to say, a person can be an individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, a company, partnership firm, cooperative society, as the case may be. A person needs to be a non-resident family in the relevant previous year. Only on that particular basis that the provision of non-resident taxation can be made applicable on that person. Now for every person, students, as we know, the test of determining his residential status is different. And we all know, in as far as your examination is concerned, either they are keen on individual or they are keen on company. And when it comes to company, it is a foreign company which I'm talking about. So here, students, as far as individual is concerned, please be careful over here. Try to understand, will they be asking you any question on individual non-resident? Okay, by the way, students, you will say, sir, what about the PDFs and all that you're using it? Students, the PDF that I'm going to use it in the class, in your app, in our DSTC app, the app which you all are aware. By the way, students, the link of the batch is given to you in the description box for the purpose of taking up the admissions. Secondly, students, the PDF which we are using it, you can directly download from the app where you already are put up. So what will happen, the video which is there in the encrypted form, against that there will be a PDF sections also. So from that you can download those particular PDF which we are using it in the class, okay, for the relevant topic. Mainly ICI module, students, when I'm using it, I'm going to refer those things primarily for the practical part of it, so that those things, everything, we should just ensure that the study mat questions are being taken care of. So that is one thing that I'm going to deal with it. And then I'm repeating this point again for all of you, that whatever question that we are going to leave for your deliberation, those question you need to solve it and give it to me. And that will be the best particular mechanism in which you will have a tremendous confidence in this particular paper. Never before, students, a never before confidence you can expect as far as this particular DT or IDT as the case may be. Let's start. So what I'm talking about it is that so far as a residential individual is concerned, Here, test of residential status. Students, please be careful. As far as the examination is concerned, it can come only in the form of some practical question, number one. Like which practical question I'm telling you? Two types of questions. One, a DTAA question, wherein the person, they will tell you a 10 marks practical question of DTAA. But before they put up the DTAA, they would want you to test the residential status of that individual. You may be aware, students, and you may have done it earlier also. The DTAA questions, please recall, all of you, in the DTAA question I'm talking about it. They will give you the foreign income, Indian income details, isn't it? But before giving you those details, they will give you that individuals stay in India, other criteria, so on and so forth. So that could be one particular set of questions. What I also require, students, I hope that you already are maintaining a notebook. So you will try to write residential status individual. In the residential status individual, possible question. Keep scribbling, because your final revision, when you do a final revision, students, you will have to deal it in this way. Problem is that we do a mechanical revision. We just read the provision without even thinking about whether how the provision is going to translate in your question paper. So those aspects, nobody is thinking about it. They are only reading the provision, revising the provision, by-hearting the provision, and then leaving yourself on your own as to how you're going to deal with the same in the examination. So please ensure to take a note of it. So what I have told to you, one type of question would be, before they give you the question would be of DTAA, in which before they give you the foreign tax credit, the relief of double taxation, that question. So before they give you the detail of foreign income, Indian income, they may give you the details of the stay in India, the number of days of stay in India, etc. That is one type of question. Second type of question would be, there is one chapter 12A of non-resident Indian, NRI. Remember, there is a special provision. We will do it, but I'm just trying to tell you. Non-resident Indian. Remember that, students. So far they have not asked any questions of this nature, but I can foresee even that non-resident Indian happens to be an individual. Try to appreciate what I'm saying right now. Even that NRI is nothing but a person who is either a citizen of who is a person of Indian origin, isn't it? So that is the kind of the person who we are talking about it, of NRI, non-resident Indian. So that is also an individual. So before they give you the details about his income, again they will try to target some particular provision of this number of days of stay in India of that NRI, and on that basis you have to conclude whether he is an NRI or he is a resident Indian. And if he is an NRI, he is what? NRI, then he is having the option of what? The special provision of chapter 12A. He is having what? The option of the special provision of chapter 12A. So even that could be one of the possible question. This type of question hasn't been asked so far, but you cannot rule out this type of question. Why you cannot rule out this type of question? For the reason being, we are talking about NRI. What is I? Indian. Indian means individual, who is a person of Indian origin. So just mentally be prepared. The question papers are never tough in the examination. The only why it becomes tough, because I never thought in that way, and therefore suddenly for the very first time in the examination I'm finding this type of question and I have lost my mind. This is what happens for the 90% of the students. For the fact that they find a question which is new for the very first time, they will lose their mind. Therefore, always try to foresee what could be the possible coverage. The third one, students, be careful of the residential status for an individual. The third question, students, would be of your case studies, MCQs and the other integrated case studies. So that is also one of the possibilities. So wherein they can ask you those particular questions. So in the descriptive part, two types of question. One in the double taxation relief or DTAA or foreign tax credit, that is one. Second is your NRI, that is second. And the other part I have told you would be in respect of the integrated case study or the MCQs as the case may be. The third part, I feel the chances are remote, but you cannot rule out. Why you cannot rule out? Because ICS has covered earlier also. Nevertheless, friends, over here now, be careful. Now, when you revise, just let's quickly recap this. The period, this thing, the conditions. As you know, any individual students, if he satisfy one of the two basic condition, then in that particular case, that individual will become a resident in India. This applies to any individual. If he satisfies one of the two basic condition, he will be considered as resident in India in that previous year. Why I'm making so much emphasis in that previous year? Because this test has to be applied every year. All of you are aware of it, isn't it? So therefore, you can see, and we all are aware, 182 days stay in India, minimum stay in India for 182 days in the relevant previous year. Or what? Minimum stay in India for the relevant previous year is 60 days, and in the last 4 preceding previous year, the aggregate number of stay should be minimum 365 days. That is the second basic condition. If you satisfy either the first basic condition or the second basic condition, you will become a resident in India. However, in some case, the second basic condition is not applicable. In some case, students, the second basic condition is not applicable, which is provided to you as per the explanation. So in that scenario, students, the second basic condition of 60 days is not applicable. Now, there is, students, be careful in this scenario, in this context. There are two cases in which the second basic condition is not applicable. Actually, there are three, but you just remember only two for your examination now. One is a person who leaves India for the purpose of taking up the employment outside India. Repeat with me. A person or an individual, students, he is what? Who is a citizen of India. Students, be careful. That person is a citizen of India and he is leaving India. He is what? Leaving India for the purpose of taking up the employment outside India. Citizen means, think of it like a passport. So I am holding Indian passport. Family, I am leaving India for the purpose of taking up the employment outside India. In that case, I will become a resident in India in the current previous year if and only if the first basic condition is satisfied. The second basic condition will not be made applicable to me. The second basic condition will not be made applicable to me. Is that point clear to all of you students? Every one of you. That exactly is the point. Now let's come to that second particular situation where only the first basic condition is applicable, and the second particular case happens to be when a citizen of India, be careful, when a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin, can you see in this case, the second point is also being attached now further. So what I have told you, either a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin, as the case may be, he comes to India for visit purpose. He is coming in India for what? For visit purpose, students. Now please understand, in the first situation, the one who is leaving India for the purpose of taking up employment outside India happens to be a citizen of India, which means I am holding the Indian passport. I qualified my chartered accountancy examination. I got a job abroad. I'm moving outside India for the purpose of taking up the employment outside India. Please tell me, when I'm going abroad, am I holding the Indian passport? Yes. Am I a citizen of India? Yes. Now I'm staying abroad for many days, for many years. Now chances are very high that after staying in that foreign country for so many years, I am now taking up the citizenship of that foreign country, taking up that passport of that foreign country. Possibilities are there. I may take, I may not take, isn't it? So therefore, now after so many years, I'm coming in India, students. After so many years, I'm coming in India. Then I'm coming in India for visit purpose. And at that particular point of time, please tell me, who am I? Who am I? I am either a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin. Who am I? I am a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin. Is that point clear to all of you? Because possibilities are there. If I'm holding the Indian passport, I'm a citizen of India. If I'm not holding the Indian passport, but still, am I a person of Indian origin? Yes, I am very much a person of Indian origin. And that is the reason why, students, in that particular case, what happens? Who is coming to India for visit purpose? Either a person of Indian origin or a citizen of India. Now, if he is coming for what? For permanent residence or for visit purpose? For permanent residence or for visit purpose? For visit purpose. If he is coming for visit purpose, then in that particular case, only the first basic condition of 182 days is what will be applied. But if the question gives you a twist, if a question, students, give you a twist, as we know, the life gives a twist, isn't it? So if that question gives you a twist, and that question says that this person, who is a person of an Indian origin, he is coming India for a permanent settlement. In that particular case, students, please tell me which particular basic condition will be made applicable for him. Is it the first basic condition, or both the basic condition will be seen to determine his residential status? Please tell me what we are going to do. Indeed, students, that exactly the point. That exactly the point, students. Perfect. That is how the things has to be looked upon, isn't it? That is the game, students. That is the game. So therefore, your answers is right. Then in that situation, both the basic condition has to be seen. Now, students, be careful. This is how you actually have to recap the things which I have told you, that two basic condition in two situation, second basic condition will not be applicable. So general principle, two basic condition. In two situation, second basic condition will not be applicable. This is how you have to revise. How you will revise? General principle, two basic condition. In two situation, second basic condition will not be applicable. Okay? Now, how you will revise? One more point. And what is that point? In one particular situation, the second basic condition. In one particular situation, the second basic condition is a different criteria or a different condition. In one situation, the second basic condition is a separate one. Which is that one particular case? So in one situation, write with me, students, one situation, second basic condition. Second basic condition is different. So which is that situation? That exactly is a game, students. Which is that situation? That is a game which you have to play, students. Let's start with this. So the game, students, over here is that person has to be. Who has to be that person? Person has to be a citizen of India or a person of Indian origin. Indian origin. Is that point clear to all of you? In this situation, he's a person who is a citizen of India, person of Indian origin. After that, what, students? After that, what? The next point is that he comes to visit in India. So he is coming for visit to India, students. In that scenario. So he is resident if what? Friends, if what in that scenario? If his stay in India is how much, friends? Is minimum 182 days, or his stay in India is minimum 120 days. Minimum means greater than or equal to. Now this 120 days, students, has to be given. This condition is to be seen. This condition, students, will be seen in whose case? This condition will be seen only if what, students? Only if such person have total income minus foreign income, students. Total income minus foreign income exceeding rupees 15 lakh. In a simple word, students, if his Indian income is more than 15 lakhs, then this person, we are talking about which person, students, by the way? A person who is either a citizen of India or a person of an Indian origin, if he is coming in India for visit purpose. Students, be careful. Huh? He is coming in India for what? He is coming in India for visit purpose. So what I am talking about to all of you is this, that in that situation, check out further. Does he have a total income minus the foreign income, which is nothing but an Indian income, which is more than rupees 15 lakhs? Which is more than rupees 15 lakhs? If the answer is yes, then be careful, students. His basic condition would be 2, which is that either his stay in the current previous year is for minimum 182 days, or his stay in the current previous year is for minimum 120 days, students. Minimum 120 days. Is that point clear to all of you? Now be careful, students. If, now this is very important. In that situation, you will write, if he becomes resident on account of this basic condition, then automatically his status will be RNNOR. That is it. So students, you will have to wrap up this revision when you do your self-study in 2 minutes. Huh? This cannot take much of time. So now you should measure up your revision. Why I'm saying so? Because these are not going to be asked the way. This is not going to be asked as a separate question at all. In inter-CA they do ask. In final CA they don't. So therefore in final CA I told you the nature of question. So when you revise now, students, do ensure don't get stuck unnecessarily on these things. So the fact that I've spent some time with you, now you made some important observation. I told you that there are 2 basic conditions, which is the general principle, but in 2 situations, there is only 1 basic condition. Which are those 2 situations? Revise it, recall it. And in one situation, which we have made a chart right now, in one situation, the second basic condition is different. And because of the second basic condition, please be careful, because of this second basic condition, if a person becomes a resident, then automatically his status will be RNNOR. RNNOR. Which is, sir, Let me in fact discuss with you, although they don't ask these questions at all anymore, but still it may be worth for me to discuss this with all of you. Let me discuss this particular proposition with all of you, students. So the point which I just want to discuss with you is that if supposingly you are an RNNOR, then may I put it in this way? There is only one category of foreign income which will form part of the total income. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. Huh? If you are R and NOR, then only one category of foreign income will be a part of the total income. This is a proposition, which means that all the other foreign income that you have earned outside India and received outside India, all the other type of foreign income which you have earned outside India and received outside India will not be a part of your total income. So can you tell me which is that particular category of foreign income which will be a part of the total income in the case of R and NOR? Can you tell me that? Indeed, a person who is controlling from India, a business which is situated outside India. The simple word, I've got a branch office outside India, and I'm controlling that branch from India. So in that case, whatever is the branch income, which is the foreign income, will it be a part of my total income? And the answer is yes, it will be a part of my total income, students. Is that point clear to all of you? It will be a part of my total income, students. I hope that all of you are clear with this one. Every one of you. That exactly the point. But say for example, I am an RNNOR and I have earned dividend income. I have earned interest income in foreign country, and I have received also those income in foreign country. Whether those income, will it be a part of my total income? Answer is no. Answer is no. Just keep this proposition in mind, students, forever. Forever. Is that point clear to all of you, students? Perfect. So this is what, students, we have done. Although just see, you just can't expect what could be asked and what could not be asked. Although these things, they don't target much. R and NOR kind of a question. If I'm not mistaken, one attempt which was November 23 for the R and NOR. I'm not aware. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just confusing it with some interstitia question. Let it be. So, nevertheless, so I hope that all of you are aware of it, students, in this case. Perfect. So now, students, what else that you will get apart from this? Perfect. So this is the only thing which has been there. Now, students, there is one 6.1a. Although I don't find much coverage in the examination on the 6.1a residential status. Can you see this one, students? There is one clause 6.1a which you all are aware. Remember, he is not a resident in any foreign country. Then he can be deemed to be a resident in India. Remember something of that sort you have studied? So students, please be careful. 6.1a starts with notwithstanding anything contained in clause number 1. What it says? Repeat with me. It says notwithstanding anything contained in clause number 1. It simply means that you are not satisfying any of the basic condition in clause number 1. But still what? Still you could be considered as a resident if you satisfy the condition of 6.1a. Again what, students? Be careful. Supposingly you are a non-resident as per 6.1, means you are not satisfying any basic condition. 6.1a says you can still be considered as what? As a resident person if you satisfy the following condition. You will be deemed to be a resident if you satisfy the following condition. So we are here to check out. When we are going to check out 6.1a? Only when you are a non-resident as per 6.1, which means you are not satisfying any of the basic condition. Only then you have to see whether you are satisfying the criteria or the condition of 6.1a. If yes, then you are deemed to be a resident in India. What is the criteria? There are two conditions, students, over here. 6.1a So you are a person. So I will say a person is NR as per what? 6-1 or 6-1. So what else I've said to you? He can still be a resident if he satisfies the following condition. Now there are two conditions that you have to satisfy. So the conditions are and, not or. This and this. Okay, what is that? I'm just making the structure. You will copy it down later on your own. Okay. So a person is a non-resident as per 6-1. He can still be resident if he satisfies the following conditions. Following conditions. 1 and 2. 1 plus 2. Both the conditions. So which are those two conditions? These two conditions are what? Students, can you see that in this case? So here again the same thing. His Indian income should be more than 15 lakhs. That goes without saying. His Indian income is more than 15 lakhs. So you can write point number 1. His Indian income is more than 15 lakhs. In a simple term. Don't complicate. His Indian income is more than 15 lakhs. That is point number 1. And what is point number 2? Point number 2 is he is not liable to tax. Be careful of the phrase that they have used. What is the phrase that they have used? What is the phrase that they have used? He is not liable to tax in any other country. Okay? Don't ever substitute this phrase with another phrase. There is one more phrase where students tend to substitute this with that. You want to know what is that other phrase? The other phrase is he is not liable to pay the tax. He is not liable to pay the tax. Don't use this phrase. Huh? This is incorrect. Which is the phrase that you're going to use? As a second condition, he is not liable to tax in the other country. He is not liable to tax in the other country, students. This is the second phrase that you're going to put it up. Is that point clear to all of you? That exactly is the point. So he is not liable to tax in any country. So students, in this case, they have given you the definition of this term. But this was interesting. If I'm not mistaken, this was asked somewhere or the other in some examination. Maybe some in the form of an MCQs or something of that sort. Students, supposingly, in say country X, you have earned an income which is chargeable to tax, in that country X. However, the law, the domestic law of that country X provides you an outright exemption. The domestic law of country X provides you an outright exemption. Question therefore to all of you is he liable for tax in that country X? That is the question to all of you. Is he liable to tax in that country X, students? Is the question to all of you. So again I'm repeating, he has earned an income in country X. That is the income that he has earned. Thereafter, what I've told you, he is eligible for an exemption in that country X. So what is my question? Is he liable to tax in country X? This is my question to all of you. So that the answer is yes, he is liable to tax. He is liable to tax, students. For the reason being, the income was charged. That income was chargeable under their act. Students, that income is chargeable under the act. That is point number 1. Be careful. Okay. So therefore, once it is chargeable, he is liable for tax. The very fact that the exemption was being given to him, makes a case of that makes a case of what? It makes a case of that he is not liable to pay the tax. Why? Because his tax liability is zero. Why is tax liability zero? Because exemption was being given to him. So he's not liable to pay the tax. Isn't it? But is he liable to tax? Is he liable to tax? Answer is yes, because his income was chargeable. And please tell me, for deemed resident under 61A, what is the second condition that we are required to see? What is the second condition that we are required to see? So the second condition, students, that we require to see is that he should not be liable to tax in any other country. He should not be what? Liable to tax in that any other country. Should not be liable to tax, students. That is the second condition that needs to be satisfied, and that exactly is the game. I hope that all of you are clear with this one. Every one of you. So he is not liable to tax. Okay? But if he is liable to tax, even though he may not be liable to pay the tax, but he is liable to tax. So whether the second condition of 61A, is it getting satisfied? No. And if it is not getting satisfied, then can he be considered as a deemed resident of 61A? No. He cannot be considered as a deemed resident of 61A. I hope that all of you are clear with this particular point in this context. That exactly the point, students. This is out and out everything that you need to know so far as the residential status of an individual is concerned. I'm just putting some more effort, students, over here because this takes some time. I admit the fact. Some other discussion which will happen later on will not take any time at all. But this, anyhow, whatever, however you do, it takes some time to just do a quick recap. We just can't help it. And I could have moved this, I could have skipped this particular part, but I always strongly believe on one thing. NR taxation. Whenever we get a chance, you should always revise the residential status. Family. Because students, what generally do is that they jump into section number 9. Income which is deemed to accrue as in India, and they move to the further advanced provision, and that's the reason why these sections remains neglected. But this could be the dangerous neglect on your part, because if your DTAA question or the question which I've told you, chapter 12 NRI, if the first paragraph of the question requires you to test the residential status, so you would be in a big dilemma. And if you are not in a position to come up with the residential status correctly, then you will goof up with the entire question altogether. You will make a big mess of the entire question altogether, isn't it? So that's the reason why I always have a habit of revising this particular thing, come what may. Okay. Now, the second, which is there, students, is your this one. Your company. So the examples are there, friends. You will skip these examples. That is fine. Now, no longer, in fact, these examples are not to be seen at all. Only we are going to focus on the examination question and some of the means the study mat questions and some of the question which I will mark for you from this material. Only those questions has to be seen, which I will mark for you from this material that we are going to discuss in the class, because those questions are not there in the study mat. Okay, but they were being asked earlier, some old attempts, beautiful questions. So some very old attempt questions also have kept it over here. Okay, so those are also the questions which I'm going to mark. You will take a note of those questions in this PDF, make a mark of it with the page number, and that should be all. Okay. Now come to this particular part, student. As far as a can you just Usha, Mayank? Okay, students, just need to check on the app also if the questions this particular lectures are going. Mayank, okay, just hold on, students. I think that this part is you are watching through the another link. My team is just suggesting me just to check with the students. First, let me in fact put it in the app. And friends, my request to all of you would be that in the app also you just have a look to this lecture one more time. Okay, just to only confirmation, because this is altogether new app, students, that we have taken up. So my only request is that just if you can confirm in the app itself, or you can confirm to me also or my team, as the case may be, that it's all working fine. So what will happen is that at least we are sure about the deliverables as far as the app is concerned. Okay, please just do that needful, because do that needful. I'll share you the another link primarily. Okay, so we'll just try to put it across this one. Friends, what you can do is that as far as the foreign company is concerned, in the meantime, just read this through. Active business outside India test. Foreign company residential status. Now, foreign company residential status, students, before I can close across this one. Students, okay, no, they have to put it. Ma'am, they are waiting for me to break this up, and they want to put this one up. So that's what they're trying to say. Students, as far as a foreign company is concerned, please pay attention to this one first. Foreign company. Earlier, when this foreign company residential status was introduced way back in 2018 students, at that point of time, we were having an independent question on whatever you have done in the modules. Those were the times. Now I'm telling you, students, they don't ask you at all these detailed questions like John Butler tricks. You may have done it earlier also. We also have this particular kind of a question, but now it is only for the purpose of practice, students. Only for the purpose of practice. They don't ask any more this kind of a question. Which is then how they are asking the questions. How they are asking the questions, students, I'll let you know. But only request to all of you would be that please do one thing. At least in the meantime, revise what? Revise this particular poem particular part and this ABOI test. So this test, at least revise it along with the meaning of certain terms. Okay. So this PDF also will go in that app. So you just have to confirm two things. One, whether the lectures you can see properly in the app. And secondly is that the PDF also you can download it. Because it's a new app, so just a confirmation is required, students, from your side. Yes, these were the usual questions which were being asked earlier. Now they don't ask anymore. For the last 4 or 5 years or so, they've stopped asking this kind of a question. But do one thing now, since you people would be revising it in this case, just revise it once, students. This active business outside India test and this particular part, and then I will take you through to the way this particular question has been targeted in the examination. Please do it, students, and then probably I will be in the position to share with you, in this case, the next link. Okay, I'll just message you across it. Thank you.